been a long 2 years apart, and now the Building Envelope Contractors Conference, or BEC as it's known, is together again, in person, and people are excited to be together face to face. I'm Ellen Rogers, editor of US Glass Magazine, and we're in Nashville, catching up on what the industry has been doing since we were last here, just before the first lockdown. The past 2 years have been challenging for all of us, and everyone has had their own circumstances to address. We spoke with several companies who told us what it's been like for them, struggles they still face, and what they found to be surprising positives.
You know, it's been an interesting 2 years, not just for Vitro, but for the whole industry. Luckily, construction was a lot of outdoor work, and things haven't been able to continue. Our market continues to still be strong, and it looks to be strong in the future, and we're really looking forward to that. There are new products coming out, there are new technologies, and we wanted to use this time where we were either remote or we were somewhere else, but not all together in the office, to really look at those emerging trends and markets. I would say luckily is that codes still drive a lot of the business, and there's been a lot of work on the government sides and the industry groups to make sure that those codes continue to get better performance, better solar heat gain, better U value, and we continue to support that.
We kept going for the most part. I wouldn't say full steam ahead or at full throttle, but certainly probably around 75%. All of our operations, can continue to work. Our front end people, we were able to transition them to work remote. Really on the manufacturing side, the thing that I think's affected us like it has most is the whole supply chain. And our schedules have not gone out tremendously. They have gone out some. Of course, prices have risen across the board from everyone. But we've tried to do a really good job of communicating with our customers as well as our vendor suppliers so that we could pass on information back and forth as early as we could in the process. Through the pandemic period, we were able to update all of our sustainability initiatives around our lead products, C2C certification, declare labels, EPDs, material transparency, things like that.
Specialty glass companies that provide products such as decorative and bird-friendly glazing have also faced similar challenges. We checked in with some of those suppliers to learn more about what they've done to stay productive.
We were advised by our government that we had to close the entire factory, and we were only able to get restarted because we were considered an essential service. So boy, that really turned our whole company on end. Thank God we got back to it within a couple of weeks of the shutdown and spent the next 2 months scrambling to organize our company in a way that would allow us to continue to serve our customers. There's still a lot of labor challenges, and I think we're not alone in that. We see fantastic demand in the industry. The fact that these supply chain disruptions from overseas took place, we see that still trending, and as pendulums go back and forth, I think it's good for North America, but everyone needs more labor, and I think that'll be one of the struggles. And how to answer that is, can we automate, and can we get that automation in and up and running quickly? I think that'll be a challenge for us as well as a number of companies.
Pulp never actually slowed down, year-over-year growth throughout the entire process. It's really what's going to happen in the next couple of years because of the limitations on the A&D side. We couldn't get in and see people. I think if you talk about the pandemic in general as it relates to the supply chain, that has been very painful for us because of Pulp's business model outsourcing products from throughout the world. We've seen more interest in people outside of the glass sector wanting to know and understand and learn more because we're involved earlier in that process. Projects that we thought would happen in 21 are now starting in 22, and all the way back to say 19 happened in 20. It's a little bit longer. The money side's taking a little longer to happen. People are just holding on a little more cautiously to that money.
There have certainly been struggles, but we've also seen a lot of growth and opportunity since COVID began. Construction is strong, companies are busy with new developments, and architects are designing more and more with glass.
So VacuumX by itself can be an absolute game changer for just the glass industry in general, right? It offers unparalleled performance with such a really thin profile compared to a traditional IGU out there. So roughly, and about a third the thickness of a regular IG, you can get about the same performance, but you're gonna triple the R value or the U value performance. So it's gonna be an absolute game changer out there in terms of thermal performance for an architect or designer's toolbox. Probably the first opportunity is going to be in the commercial retrofit market. The VacuumX can almost be a plug-and-play type system. So you can replace existing monolithic glass with a VacuumX product and get immediate solar control performance as well as with the low E coating benefits. So I think it's just generating the awareness, educating the customers, the architects, the glazers, everyone out there of the performance benefits. I think that's really how we push this forward.
Chemical, that's a big growing sector for us. 5 years ago, there wasn't a lot of knowledge in terms of specification. We've seen a lot of change on the ASTM side with chemical. There's certainly more first surface, bird, that is now gaining some traction. Decorative in a multi-layer oversized laminated, lots of growth in that area. The result of the pandemic and cleanliness and institution work in hospitals and a lot of change out, right? So our low iron back painted side is very busy as a result of that.
We're seeing obviously a lot of trends in the bird friendly front with New York bringing the forefront their legislation. That kind of changed the dynamic, right? And so in markets where there's no bird-friendly legislations now, because of New York, there's a more knowledge and acceptance in the marketplace. So that's what we're seeing. We're hearing a lot from architects, like they want to renovate the interiors because they want to bring people back, because some people are going to be working from home and working back to the office, and so they want to make the environment even more pleasant than before the pandemic. So those are really the two big trends we're seeing on the business side.
We are just getting started with this year's event, and we are excited to be here in person. Stay tuned to usglassmag.com for our ongoing coverage, and be sure to follow us on social media. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Ellen Rogers.